Welcome back to the Small Business Show, where you get to hear the journey, find the challenge, and create solutions. I'm your host, Lori Brooks, and I thank you so much for joining me today. If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Whether you're buying your first home, breaking ground on commercial property, or fighting through zoning, red tape, real estate law can be the make or break factor. Today, I'm joined by Patrick J. Foley, an attorney helping clients navigate the complex legal terrain of Massachusetts real estate. From closings to courtroom litigation, Patrick knows how to protect what matters most, your property. Patrick, welcome, and thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm excited to dive into your journey.
Yeah.
But before we get there, I want to rewind the clock. I want to go back to, say, days of junior high or high school. Think about a time when somebody would have asked you, Patrick, what do you want to be when you grow up? What was your answer to that question?
I was going to be a professional NBA player, professional football player. I had it mapped out. I was going to be on the Chicago Bulls. Michael Jordan was in his heyday with Pippen and Kerr and Paxson, and Phil Jackson was the coach.
Yeah.
And I was just going to be one of them.
There you go.
Just
all right.
I went through a stage where I loved Drew Bledsoe. He was a quarterback for the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something I wanted to do.
Yep.
The only problem was I didn't have a great arm. And I was a bigger dude. So that went away fast. But
right.
Being a kid, I was going to be a professional athlete. That's what I wanted to be as a kid.
Understand.
And that kind of died out in high school once you figure that one out.
I'd love to know, as you shifted out of high school, what was it that drew you into real estate law? What was it that drew you to the legal profession?
It wasn't even real estate law right away.
Gotcha. So
it wasn't even law right away.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to Suffolk University, went to Oxbridge Williams High School,
mm-hmm.
graduated there. I went to Suffolk University. I commuted there, so I was able to work full-time throughout college. Worked for my family's bar and restaurant,
mm-hmm.
J.J. Foley's in Boston. So I was bartending, doing the door, doing tables, whatever they needed.
Mm-hmm.
And in that process, the law was never on my radar. It never really was.
Mm-hmm.
But what started to happen was my dad had this attorney,
mm-hmm.
and he was such a good guy. He was an older guy. So when I got to know him a little bit, he was probably in his mid to late 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was going through college, I found myself picking his brain a little more,
mm-hmm.
asking him questions about it. And he owned his own practice too. So the business end of that,
mm-hmm.
I thought was pretty cool too.
Mm-hmm.
So as I was picking his brain and I started to break it down, the competitor in me, I was like, you know what? I started to really break it down. I'm like, if that person over there could do it, if that guy can do it right there,
mm-hmm.
why can't I?
Exactly.
And so I made a decision. That's what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I also knew there's going to be a lot of sacrifice. Mm-hmm. Anything worth having in life is going to require sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
And if it comes easy, it's really not worth much. So I knew that I wanted to go back at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But I also knew I didn't want to come out hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. So I made a decision where I was going to take a couple of years off
mm-hmm.
After college.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to work full time.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to save my money up. And I was going to go back to school, pay it off as I went, not worry about coming out, with all that debt and pressure.
Right.
And that was my plan. And that's what I stuck to it. And there was days where, you wonder if you made the right decision, but
mm-hmm.
Good, bad, and different. You show up every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up going back to law school. And I did that. That was crazy. That was you look back at certain periods in your life sometimes, and you're like,
mm-hmm.
how did I do that?
Mm-hmm.
I was working full time. I was doing school. I was doing the homework. I was studying. It was like you were on a hamster wheel of your
mm-hmm.
life for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I got through it and ended up getting out. Best thing in the world possibly could have happened to me. And at the time, it seemed like the worst possible thing that could have happened was I failed the bar by 2 points.
Mm.
I failed the bar by 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
It was tough, but for me, what happened from that was it actually was the first time, I'd say, in about 8 years between college and law school and the little break in between, where I actually really slowed down a little bit and thought about what do I want to do?
Mm.
What do I want to do? You give yourself credit. You sacrificed on the front end.
Mm-hmm.
You paid school off as you went.
Mm-hmm.
You're not in debt at the time, not married, no kids.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have people depending on you, right?
Right.
So the more I thought about it and the more I dove into it, my dad's the guy I look up to most of my life. And he was an entrepreneur. He owned a bar and a restaurant, right? And there was always that pride of having your name on something.
Mm-hmm.
Good, bad, and different. Everybody knows who owns it. There's an ownership and a pride to that.
Yeah.
And I kept getting pushed into, I want to go do my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And came back, passed the bar the second time, and then decided I was going to go and start my own business.
I love it.
And I just think they say, knowing what you don't know can help you. If I knew everything that was going to go into it at that stage and how difficult it was going to be and struggling to get going, if I was talking to myself, I probably would have talked myself out of it at that stage, but we took the leap. So
blissful ignorance is a real thing. That has come up in multiple interviews where you start this journey of entrepreneurship in this state of blissful ignorance where we're like, okay, we're going to do this. And it's not that we don't recognize there's going to be a struggle. Like you said, you knew you were going to have to pay it upfront. You knew that there was going to be a struggle. There was going to be a cost to accomplish what you were trying to accomplish. But you were willing to make that sacrifice to get to where you are. But had you known, and we'll get to that later in the conversation, but had you known, you would have thought twice about it because blissful ignorance truly is a part of this journey, guys.
Had I known, I probably would have put it safe.
There you go.
I would take a salary job somewhere and been fine. But thank God I didn't.
Exactly. You don't know what you don't know. So during those moments throughout the journey where you felt like, okay, what was I thinking? Why did I do this to myself? What do you feel like really helped you pull through those moments? What was it that pushed you from questioning those decisions to staying strong and grounded in where you were going?
Staying strong and grounded. What made me quitting's not an option, man. No Mindset. Matter what it is, that's not a word we know. So when things get tough, you can fall down a little bit, think about it, and you always get up. And in those days, I just always had faith. I always had faith that no matter what I put my name on, whatever I do, at some point, it always ended up working out for me. I mean, law school ended up working out. I didn't think I was going to go that route. That worked out, right? College, got into a good college. That worked out for me, right? Growing up, working and stuff, I just always knew at some point, if I stayed in it long enough, something's going to break my way. Something. And then as soon as I got that break, whatever was going to happen, man, we're going to run with it. Yeah. And that's what we did. Yep. So
I love it. It's mindset.
But you just can be ready for that opportunity.
Definitely. You have to put in the work.
Yeah.
You have to be ready to flex and take those pivots when they come.
Yeah, there was a quote. Someone sent it to me. It was about being ready for your opportunity. And it was, God doesn't work quickly. He works suddenly. God doesn't work quickly. He works suddenly, which means you're not going to get it quick.
Good one.
But man, it can be sudden. So that's my mindset.
I love that.
And that's the beauty of working for yourself is I could leave here at 5:30 on a Friday night and get a random phone call. And that can change everything. You just never know.
Right.
But you have to show up every day and put yourself in position for it to happen.
Definitely.
You make your own luck.
Definitely. Agreed. So I hope you guys are hearing this. Mindset, it's one of the bigger pieces. So you are now an attorney in the real estate world here in Massachusetts.
Yes, here we are.
Which is a crazy market in and of itself. So tell me how you're working with your clients today. Share with me all about your practice.
Awesome. Yeah. So when we started our business, we were doing a little bit of everything at the time. Obviously, starting a business, you have to generate money. So whatever came in the door at that point, we took. And as we got more into our journey, real estate was something that really compelled me. Something I really enjoyed. Really enjoyed seeing people buy homes, seeing people build buildings. I mean, I'm living in a city right now, the city of Quincy. We're fortunate to do a lot of work down here. And just seeing the transformation that's gone through and being able to, work on some of that stuff. So that stuff's always excited me very much. But for real estate, for me, the real estate closings representing buyers, sellers, doing with some stuff with refinances right now. I love it because I feel my skill sets, it really feeds into it, where it's going out and meeting people,
Mm-hmm.
being dependable,
Mm-hmm.
being consistent,
Mm-hmm.
picking your phone up, doing a good job, being there for your people,
Mm-hmm.
being able to interact with all sorts of different people,
Mm-hmm.
how much they understand it. You could have somebody, a very sophisticated real estate investor,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to explain something to him, and then bang, your next phone call is somebody,
Who's never purchased a home.
looking to buy their first home.
Mm-hmm.
So the questions you're going to be getting asked are going to be different, and you're just going to be up. You just have to pivot,
Mm-hmm.
on a dime every day, and I love that. And also, at real estate is you wake up, you don't know what's going to happen. Are we going to get a few accepted offers in today? Are we going to have people selling the house? Someone looking to build a building? It's like something's always happening.
Right. Right.
But I also think for things to always be happening for you, you got to keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
It means you just can't sit around and do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go out. You have to keep your business moving. You have to keep talking to people. You have to keep meeting people. Then that other stuff's going to take care of itself.
Right. Right. No, definitely. Networking is one of the key pieces to the journey that I think people get lost in. They enjoy the opportunity to attend these events and meet different people. But how often do you take the time to really focus on moving that forward? So I'm sure that's something that at one point in your journey wasn't something that you were really good at doing or really seasoned at doing. What do you feel helped you become really seasoned at the networking end of things?
Which really helped me with the networking, it was working for my family's bar and restaurant. You're talking to all different types of people,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're going to have people complaining to you about stuff, and you have to sit there and kind of take it, right? And I noticed the difference here is if someone's complaining to me about something else, I'm on a phone.
Mm-hmm.
They'll look at me right in the eye when I was doing that. That's easy. That's easy. But even that experience in that business, I'll use an example. Wednesday, we had 9 closings, right? So we have the people in here closing,
Mm-hmm.
right? We had 6 that were in here and 3 sellers that were offsite, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to make sure these 6 people close. We have to make sure the 3 closings happen offsite.
Mm-hmm.
And then to boot, you have all your other stuff that's going on too. So your computer's lighting up with emails that are coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Your phone's blowing up with texts and calls about stuff that's happening today. It's
Mm-hmm.
how do you juggle that?
Right.
How do you juggle that? Well, let me tell you how you juggle it. You ever bartended St. Patrick's Day? Have you ever had 250 people like trying to all order a drink at once and cash in a tab out? That set me up to be able to do this. That experience, right?
Mm.
And not only that, but my older brother and my younger brother and my dad are 3 of the most consistent people that I know. And being around them, like it rubs off on you. And I don't care what the business is. If you're consistent and you're hardworking, it's going to work for you.
Definitely.
But the thing with the consistency is you have to do it every day.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't do it 5 days and then it didn't work for me. Are you willing to do it for a year?
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing to do it for 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing to do it for 5 years? I mean, I have stuff written down that I did 5 years ago, whatever date it is today.
Right.
I'm obsessed with it. Yeah. But I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't, because we've continuously done that every day, and that compounds.
Right.
And yes. I'm a huge, you could not tell me otherwise.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Compounded interest is not just for your investment. So I'd love to know, if you had the opportunity to say, go back in time, if we had a time machine. I keep asking this audience to build one. We haven't gotten there yet, but when we do,
there's got to be someone out there.
I'll let you know.
You think Elon could do it?
I'm not sure Elon watches the show. Elon has no idea who I am yet. Okay, I promise.
Elon, if you're watching it, time machine.
Time machine, please, dude, I'm waiting. So, back to it. If you had the ability to pop in a time machine, go back, say 10, 20 years, and tell yourself just one thing. Aside from, don't do this.
Well, the things you didn't do, you learn from.
There you go. Exactly. So what do you feel like you would have told yourself?
If I could go back 10 years, relax. 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 It's all going to work out. Because there is some stuff, like when you're in the moment, you think it is the biggest thing in the world where something's not going your way. And it's not going to matter a week from now. I couldn't tell you what ball a year ago. You couldn't. But I'm sure there was something I got worked up about over the course of a day, and I couldn't even tell you about it. If I let it ruin my day, week, whatever, but just relax and let it all work out. As long as you do what you do, back to consistency, run your race,
Mhm.
run your game plan. It's going to work out how it's supposed to work out. But just relax. Relax. Don't worry.
Take it down a notch.
Oh no, take it up a notch. Attack with intensity.
All right. So if you had the ability to change anything at all in the real estate industry, what do you feel like that would be?
If I had the ability to change one thing in the real estate industry, what would it be? That's a good question. Like people or like market or what do you want?
Operationally.
Operation.
Yeah. What is it that drives you insane about this industry?
Oh,
See, I had to switch that question up, guys. What is it?
Use professionals. Use people that have experience. Use people that have a track record of success. And use people that are doing this every day. And I'm going to use an example. There's nothing worse when I'm on a transaction and I hear that make sure it's a real estate lawyer, because you hear about, I'm going to get a lawyer. Well, you're using an OUI lawyer, a criminal defense lawyer. And I'm sure if I got an OUI, he'd be an excellent lawyer to use, but we're trying to get this real estate transaction over the finish line right now. And they really don't know what they're doing. It would be like me doing a divorce case. Like I'm doing my client a disservice. Right. So I think it would be helpful if more people kind of stayed in their lane and just stuck to using professionals in the industry that know what they're doing. Right. Because it's going to make the process a lot smoother. And also, I just think it's very important that everybody can communicate. Yep. Communicate and just get back to one another in a timely manner.
Love that. Definitely. And I think communication may actually be something we should chat about later. Patrick, you've been outstanding. I thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you. Please share the best way for our viewers to find you.
Best way to find me is you can call me 24/7, 617-645-5832, 617-645-5832. That's my direct cell phone number. Or you can look at me up, our company up on Instagram at Pat J. Foley. And we're on Facebook under Patrick J. Foley Law. Thanks for letting me on here. I really appreciate it.
Of course. I'll be sure to include all of those links on the show notes page along with the website. Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right.